today we're reading the second part of the man who made the park. Oh yeah, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Just the camera fell for a sec. But even guys, in the last video, we actually read the first part, like from I think the first page to the 13th maybe. But now maybe we're gonna do the 13th to the 26th. So we'll do it. So we're reading 10 pages. So in the last video, we actually started from the early one and ended to the one that he actually has been born, I think. No, he has been working and stuff. Yeah, like those. So, but now we're reading the next one, like before the page. Like in the last video, we read this page, like from the first page to this page. We completed all of these pages, but except I think we need 13 more pages to finish, I think. Or even, 10 more pages to finish. So, yeah, let's get to that. When Frederick returned home, he wrote a book about his trip to England. He enjoyed writing so much, he left farming and became a newspaper reporter for the New York Daily Times. As a reporter, Frederick traveled to the southern United States and wrote moving accounts of the terrible conditions arising from slavery. He also wrote articles about the difficulties new immigrants faced in New York City. No longer after he became a magazine publisher. When his magazine failed, Frederick was at a loss again. What direction should he take his life? For years, his family has been understanding about his career changes. But he was now 35. He couldn't keep drifting. He had to find a profession that suited him up. The question was, what? The answer came through a chance conversation. As Frederick had written in his articles, New York was teeming with immigrants, many in poverty, breathing foul air and living in squalid, crowded, unhealthy tenements. A movement to create a park in the city has begun for years before, but had stalled because of arguments about the park location. Finally, 840 miserable acres is the sparsely populated center of Manhattan, where set aside a few men, including Charles Eliot, were put in charge of organizing the project. In 1857, Frederick met Charles Eliot by a chance at an inn in Connecticut and was immediately caught up with the idea of building a park for New York. Finally, New York would have a big green space for all of its people, rich and poor, young and old, just like beautiful Birkenhead Park in England. So, guys, over here, this is New York City over here. You know these tall buildings, they're not too tall. Even from today, from this day to today, it's different, see? Because there are smaller buildings in this day, and today it's taller buildings, like more than 100 floors. And even there's a lot of crowded, there's no cars. And even this over here, it's not a bus. It's over here. It's not a bus. That's just an Oki bus, I think. Yeah, maybe a carriage bus. Yeah, like one of those. Why don't you apply for the job of Park Superintendent, Charles Eliot suggested to Frederick. Charles went on to explain the superintendent would be in charge of cleaning up the land where the park would be built. The land was a mess. It was rocky and swampy, and pig sites and slaughterhouses everywhere. It was filthy and smelled disgusting, but none of that bothered Frederick. In his imagination, the park's transformation has already begun. So, guys, over here you might see Frederick. Oh my goodness. Frederick and what was that? Charles. Yeah. So even in the last video I told you this is an old book, so you know it's ripping all day, and I'm very annoyed of that. Oh my goodness. What's this page? There's nothing. But give me a sec. But links. No, it's not like that there. Put this there. So I'm just you know, trying to fix this. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do this later, but I'm gonna fix it later. Later on this video. When Frederick arrived at the park site to meet his new boss and chef engineer Egbert Veal, he was brimming with enthusiasm and ideas, but Egbert shared neither. He thought Frederick was an impractical dreamer who would be useless doing real work on real land. To prove his point, he sent Frederick out with a snarly workman named Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins took Frederick on a hike through the muddiest section of the park site. Frederick hadn't expected a hike and wasn't dressed for one. His clean pants sank deep into the dirt and slime. Mr. Hawkins and the workmen could barely stop themselves from laughing. All Frederick could do was grit his teeth and keep walking. Despite Egbert's attitude, Frederick was determined to succeed at his new position. The next time he visited the site, he wore Roth workman's clothes and heavy boots. He organized the men into teams and told them he expected them to work hard. He insisted on hiring more workers and even waded right into the muck and mud to ensure the work was done properly. Soon the swamps on the park were sighted and drained. Soon the swamps in the park site were drained. The pig sites and slaughterhouses were leveled. The land was cleared. No one laughed at Frederick anymore. The workmen respected and admired his good work since the hard work. So, let's see. Oh my goodness, guys. So you know, I don't care about that. But guys, you see garbage all around there and muck and mud and stuff, dirt all around. So he's cleaning those dirt, so it can be like a real park. Like when you go to a park, there's no muck and mud all around. There's no garbage cans filling the area. There's none. There's just a clear area. And you might have fun, and the playground, if it is like, you know, mucky and muddy, that means also the playground is going to be mucky and muddy, and then that's going to be sad, and then, you know, you cannot play by then. Oh my goodness. Everyone was also laughing at him. Now the site has been cleared. It was time to design the park. The park commissioners wanted something imaginative, original, charming. Where would the design come from? They told a competition. The winner would receive $2,000 and the opportunity to design Central Park. One of the people interested in entering the competition was gifted artist Clavert Vacuse. Clavert was an expert of designing buildings, invited Frederick, who knew every inch of the park site, to collaborate with him. Clavert was confident that together they could design something unique and wonderful. At first, Frederick hesitated. His full-time job as park superintendent was tiring and consuming. He was also concerned that should he collaborate with Clavert, he'd be competing against his boss, Egbert Veal. Egbert told Frederick coldly that he didn't matter what one bit of him if Frederick entered the competition. Egbert was confident that Frederick had no hope of winning. As soon as he heard Egbert's harsh words, Frederick knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to design Central Park with Clever. The two men worked after night and after night, drawing on great sheets of paper and covered their tables and castled to the floor. Sometimes they rode into the park and worked by moonlight, analyzing and measuring the land. Hour after excusing hour, they worked sometimes and argued. Frederick invented the park as a tranquil place for people to escape the bustle and noise of the city. Clever saw it as a work of art. Despite their difference, they developed a plan that would bring the serenity and beauty of the countryside to the city. They finished a day before the deadline, and all that remained was the decision of winning the design. And on April 28, 1858, by a vote of 7-4, Frederick and Clever were named of the official designers of Central Park. They actually made Central Park like this. You see like this stuff over here? That's how they made Central Park, and carriages and stuff over there. We're almost done except two. For over 100 years, people's life has been enriched by Frederick's dreams. Frederick designed many magnificent public spaces for all over North America. Okay. He designed the sweeping grounds around. Okay, I don't know. First, guys, he made Central Park like this. Like this is how it looks like today. He designed the sweeping grounds around the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. So here, this is what Washington, D.C. looks like. That's the Capitol building over there on the top page. He provided plans for majestic Mount Royal and Montreal, Quebec. This is a cold place, Montreal. Montreal is a city, well, in Quebec in Canada, not in the United States where most of us live. He cleaned up the run-down area around the Niagara Falls and designed a park around its rim. Well, I don't know, nothing too much. Let me see. Just nothing, okay. So he cleaned the Niagara Falls' rim over here, around its rim. And soon the park began buzzing with workmen. Bricks, gravels, grass, soil, and even dynamite were held in road builders constructing walkways for people, paths for horses and riders, and lanes for carriages. Bridges were built allowing traffic to flow, both over and under. Roads were curved, making the narrow land appear wider. The south section of the park was shaped into rolling pastures, like an English countryside, while the north end wilder, more rugged landscape and ascended and pursued it. He proposed that the beautiful Yosemite Valley in California he provide forever as a national park. Guys, he loves nature, and even one kind of president loves nature. You know who is it? It starts with a T and ends with and ends with a T again. Theodore Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. Great job. And the end. So guys, thank you, and subscribe, like, anything else you can do. So see you all next time. And guys, in the next video, we're gonna read a new book. That is a different kind of book. We finished this book, and bye guys. See you all next time.